that's the biggest thing is, again, getting down to those roots of making sure, do you have a Google My Business page? If you don't, you're not a legitimate business on the internet. Facebook talks to Google My Business, so does Instagram, so does TikTok. So again, getting those roots built and getting a little bit more of SEO search words and keywords. So Abby's our onboarder. She's fantastic at going through and she scrubs every single client account on every single platform to make sure you're getting maximized. So it's a lot of bang for your buck.
Today on the We Share podcast, we're joined by marketing expert Melissa Hart from Persnickety Marketing and Design Co. Welcome to the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
I'm Alex.
We share ourselves and we provide a platform for others to share.
We believe everyone has a purpose and a story to tell.
And we're back on the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Alex.
And we have a guest with us today. I love marketing. I love design. And she's an expert in it.
Yes. And ditto that. I love them all as well. Let me introduce a wife, a mother, a lover of all things creative, Melissa Hart. And she is the owner of Persnickety Marketing and Design Co. here in Idaho Falls. But she does extend to other markets. So welcome, Melissa.
Well, thank you for having me, ladies.
So excited to have you here. I'm going to steal Alex's thunder because she said she wants to understand why it's called Persnickety. Let's just get that out of there.
I'm like, we have to hear the story. We talked about it before we got on air here. We need to understand why Persnickety. How did you come up with this
It's hard
name?
to pronounce. Like, it doesn't seem consumer friendly, right?
Oh, but I think it's original, though.
But it has
marketing.
a lot of onomatopoeia.
It does.
And so we like that.
It does. So Persnickety is kind of a fun thing. I'm born and raised here in Idaho Falls. And so I have a beautiful mother named Jennifer Campbell. And she was the owner of Persnickety Lemon downtown. It's a clean eating restaurant. So as a kid,
little interjection.
Yeah.
I knew that was downtown, and I wondered if there was a connection. I didn't know that was your mother.
This is the ode, yes. So as a kid, my mom always used words that I didn't understand to try to expand my vocabulary. She challenged me creatively and everything that she did. So Persnickety was something that was in our vocabulary as a family, and she'd always tell me, there's two different kinds of being persnickety. There's being snarky and mean, or there's being clever. Let's be the clever one. So she started her little place downtown, and they had some things come up, and she wasn't able to close down. She's been renting that out to another place, and it kind of fell by the wayside. So when I quit my full-time job and I was looking for a company name, it was like no-brainer, right? I'm like, we're bringing Persnickety back. So essentially, it's the beginning of our family empire. She just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. She planted the seed. So did you take place in that building?
We are soon. Yes.
Okay.
May 1st, we're going to be on the corner of Park and Broadway. So we're getting our content studio
location.
going. Yeah.
I love the vibe of downtown. So fun
Me
for
too.
you guys. That'll be
too.
great.
And it has, it's definitely updated. There's a lot of great things going on downtown.
For sure. The neighbors are good. So I can get unlimited pizza.
You are going to be right there next to the slice. Yeah.
For
my
sure.
goodness. That's going to be awesome for you.
Yeah, it'll be great. It's a really fun step for us. 6 months ago, if you'd have told me that was on the menu, I would have literally fallen out of my chair. So
to think that you were going to pivot that much.
Even have an office. Yeah.
What brought about this? Like
this change?
The aha moment.
Moment.
What was it?
So I think ultimately what happened with me in my life is I kind of made a commitment to myself about 15 years ago of working a job every day that I do not enjoy, or that I'm miserable, or I'm stressed, or I have all of these things going on and I get there and I just can't handle. I won't do it again. So I started feeling that creep at my last job of like not feeling fulfilling as a mother, and I just felt like everything was just kind of out of whack. And so I literally had a conversation with my husband, and I said, hey, is it weird if I'm ready to go out on my own and do my own business? And he was like, seriously? Like, you want to do that? And I was like, yeah. And it literally that was the conversation. It wasn't like we'll see. It was like, okay, I'm doing this. So I gave notice at my job, had the best coworkers, cried for like a week, and literally took the dive and had a company name and a LLC set up within 2 weeks. We were fully rolling with 3 clients and going, what in the world am I doing? Right.
Yeah. Well, you learn as you go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, in the wise words of Bob Ross, happy little mistakes happen all the time. And there was probably mistakes, but they were good.
Oh, for sure. And they happen daily still. The growth that we've been experiencing is just insane. When you work in marketing, you expect that, like, let me follow your social media pages. Let me do this. I'm not even to that point yet because I'm so busy handling clients. It's just been crazy. Which
is a good problem.
A good crazy.
Who were your first 3 clients?
So we were really excited. We got brought on from Salt Lake City to work with Chow Trucks, which is a food app for food trucks. They do scheduling, marketing, advanced options for their schedule. They do catering. They now do delivery through the app, so you don't have to DoorDash, which saves a ton of money on service fees for food trucks, but it's putting them out there. So we helped them brand launch. That was our very first client, which is a huge start, right?
Yeah. How did you get connected with them? How'd they find you?
I was really, really lucky. A friend of mine does some creative directing and commercials for them and some ads. And he's like, I've got the person for you. So we met and it literally just took off right at the right time.
Perfect. Timing is everything.
It is. It really is. Very lucky.
That's awesome.
And then second and third client?
I have an idea for Chow Trucks first, though.
Yes, let's hear it.
Because it's lunchtime.
I know.
I'm a little bit hungry.
I shoved a whole bunch of yogurt in my face before I came.
I'm like sitting here drinking my Athletic Greens.
Yeah, trying to fill it.
Yeah.
For several years now, I've had an idea for an app, but I don't want to do any of it. But somebody needs to do it.
Awesome.
Okay, so think about how like an ice cream truck works. And they go through neighborhoods and you hear the bell and the little kids come running out.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a taco truck that does this.
Oh, genius.
Playing Mexican music.
Yeah, but also you follow them on an app like Chow Trucks.
Exactly.
And you know when they're coming and then you just are like, yep, deliver to me and you get it. And they drive a route every night and they're just going through town and it's a taco truck and it's like the ice cream truck.
It is a great idea.
And it's like Taco Tuesday. Every Tuesday they cruise through the neighborhoods. We're on to something.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a food truck going.
I eat tacos every Tuesday. It's religion for me.
I don't want to do food, but I think that would kill.
I love that idea. And I think that that's the best thing about this app is like, that would be a collaboration, right?
Yeah.
So anybody that's listening and you want to get that going, call us.
Yeah.
We're ready. We will assist.
So let's talk about the other 2.
Yeah.
I just love hearing marketing.
So I come from a background in mortgages and real estate.
Yes.
So a lot of property management. And so realtors come very easily to us as far as knowledge base goes. So we brought on a couple local realtors. Danielle Hansen, shout out to Miss Danielle Hansen for taking a dive with us.
I love her.
Yes. Melissa Rodriguez is also another awesome client of ours. I can expand it much, much more, but we started with them and then let's see that was kind of like 2 and 3 right at the same time. Timmery Sampson with Highlands.
And she's your sister.
She is my sister. Yeah. She is a phenomenal lender. She had done a company change. We'd worked together for a little while. And then I was like so sad. I know most people don't want to work with their siblings, but I'll tell you what. Terry and I were magic. And I've been helping her on the side with marketing. That's another reason why I jumped, because I'm like, I could really do this full time by myself and like actually help people versus be restricted.
Right.
If that makes sense. So
yeah, you just have a knack for it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And you can tell you're super happy and excited about it.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Okay, so explain the layers of design and marketing, because marketing makes sense to people that, hey, you're figuring out how to get this business out in front of other people. What do you do on the design side? And is there more to marketing than what I explained?
Absolutely. So I think that what sets us apart a little bit differently in my business model and kind of our goals, we're unlike anybody else in town. The reason that is because we focus on brand management and development before we start kicking everything else off. So we get the roots going. So for small businesses, a lot of times you're like, I've got my logo and I'm ready to launch on marketing and I'm going to do great on social media. And then it dives, right?
Oh, I've had this conversation. I mean, because I'm in brand management.
So exactly.
With my clients, that's the number one thing. It's shocking.
It is.
When I meet new business owners and they don't really know
logo
their
is branding, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I have a logo. I'm ready to go. Yeah. So putting those roots underneath you is really, really important. So we handle from point A to Z. So what would happen? Let's say that you come to me and you're like, okay, I've got this idea for a business and I know what I want for a logo, but I'm not quite sure. We do everything from developing your brand all the way through. So your website, landing pages, all of your graphic design, but we're very, very persnickety about it, right? So we're going to use that word again. Very clever and very picky. We like to make sure that your colors match your personality, like an interior design, right? We interior design for small business. It's not so much of, here's your logos and your fonts and your PNGs and your PDFs. Now go put it on a t-shirt. It's much more intricate than that. We like to make sure we're aligning your goals, helping you get a business plan in place, and then we go forward. So that launches into the social media aspect. We do all of custom graphic design on every single image that we put out, every video that we do. We do the content shoots, we do the fun experience and all of the things, and that kind of trickles to our posting. We do it for you. So a lot of places will prepare your content, give it to you, and you're like, okay, here you go. We actually launch it, circulate it, and
make sure it
goes somewhere.
It gets delivered. Yeah. How big are you? How many people?
So I have 5 people working with me right now, 6 coming on soon. In 6 months, guys, it's been wild. I did the first 2 months all by myself and did everything. And I was like, yeah, this will be such a fun little thing to do. And then I was like,
then you weren't sleeping.
No. And with little kids, right? I'm like, all right, if I ever want to see my family. So I didn't have to go far. I literally talked to the people that I knew and made some convincing arguments to have them come over with me. And it's people I've known my whole life. So I have amazing Marissa Hockey that's local here. Coincidentally, she was friends with my little sister growing up, and she went to BSU and got a degree in marketing and creative design and creative writing, is a genius, and I pulled her in first. And then from there, we picked up momentum and grabbed all my other creative friends to kind of get this like female powerhouse awesome team.
Oh, I love it.
I love the fact that it's all female.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we wouldn't be objective to add some guys to the mix. Don't get me wrong. There's some really strong editors and videographers in town that we're like, okay.
There are.
Yeah, and I think that's good too, but I love it when women empower women. What I mean by that is, there should be no threat at all. If you all believe in each other's success, that's how everyone gets higher and better and stronger and bigger and all of it.
100%.
It's when we compete against each other that it starts to go bad.
Right. Or think from a scarcity mindset.
Yeah. You have to have an abundance mindset. And if all of those women are joining together with an abundance mindset and combining that with creativity and skills, unstoppable.
It's magic.
So what did you get a degree in college? Were you in marketing?
I'm so funny. So I went to college and I was like, I am going to just like conquer the world and it's going to be great. Now, first of all, I spent my entire life thinking I was going to be a country music singer. That kind of failed. All right. I did musical theater.
We do
very theatrical.
Support them.
Yes. And I was like, okay. And then I hit about 17 and went, okay, that doesn't seem really realistic for me. Probably like maybe. Nope, not going to do it. So I started going to college at ISU, went to college here locally. And my husband was going to college at the time. And we hit the recession, right? 2009 crash. And I made the choice. Do I finish college or does he?
Right.
So I took an amazing job for $11 an hour, right? The big kid job. And I went and put him through school. His parents' help and my help, we got him through school. He got his degree. He's super successful. And I never went back. And I'll tell you what, I will never regret that. Because the street smarts that I gained working in property management for 15 years built every single business foundation and knowledge that I can bring to the table right now. So it's kind of cool. Now, I'm not saying you should go to college, kids. Go to college.
Yeah, if it calls to you, go do it.
I do think the last time I checked, the knowledge retention from your 4 years in college is about 7%.
Mine was probably about 0.5.
Yeah. You just don't take it
forward. I wasn't feeling fulfilled, right?
Yeah, you just don't take it forward with you. I know there's jobs that need a little piece of paper to go along with them. I have a son who's an RN. He's in nurse practitioner school right now.
Thank goodness.
You have to have that.
Right? But nurse and doctor, please.
Yeah.
Go to school.
But when you're doing jobs where natural skill and drive means more than what you learned in a classroom, I totally get.
Well, and I hit the point, I was like, I'm going to go back. And I never felt the calling to do that because I was succeeding so well professionally, financially. I think thank you to my mom and my dad, but I worked since the time I was 12 years old. So for me, it was like not hard to make the next step decisions without furthering education. And I know that's kind of taboo, but
but no, it's
really
true
is.
though. I can say, had I not got my degree before I had kids, I might not have finished, like, just because that weighs into it. Like,
100%.
am I going to take time away from my kids to go get a piece of paper? A lot of people do online now, and that is very convenient.
And
but I'm
I
a
probably
hands-on
would have
person.
had that been an opportunity. I'm getting old, but that wasn't really a thing then, right?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. So now I'm like, well, I'm not going back now.
Yeah. Well, if you don't need to, and you can learn so much, just there's different certifications, online courses that you can just take to better yourself.
Right.
That aren't
well, especially
out of
if you see a
college.
weakness, like, okay, I want to be better at the finance part of this. You can go and take a course with that and be done and just carry forward.
Right. Which is what we do. Like right now I'm doing the EOS program. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Trisha Drake. But that has been more valuable than any college course I have ever taken. And we're hitting another class this next week. And I'll tell you what, like I am all in with the program because it's literally bringing that financial education aspect to the table. And it's, I'll be certified, right? I'll have all of the things, but it's a wonderful program. And that's my challenge to myself and my education right now is doing that. And it's definitely a commitment.
Oh yeah. Time commitment.
No,
huge.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so you do the social media for people you post. Do you handle their website?
We do. So we do custom landing pages, or we can do adaptations on websites. So when we say website, we're talking, we want an interior design. We want to take a 1995 page and we want to cosmetically
Like refresh.
facelift. Yes.
So you're not
That's what we
building
love.
it and the different pages. It's more of the aesthetics.
We want the aesthetics because a lot of times you have a really good route and a really good website, but what we hear from our clients constantly is, I like the way it's functioning. I hate the way it looks, right? And to me, looks aren't everything, but they sure do help.
Yeah.
They sure do help. So we do the whole refresh and rebrand. So if you're doing branding with us and you're going through that whole train, things need to match. They need to be cohesive. That's what the consumer is looking for. That's what's familiar. That's what they're recognizing.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, let's talk about what was your initial little seed that you planted and how did it change as you experienced all these different things?
I think that initially working for a corporation my whole life was a little bit of my motivator. I've spent my career making other people rich. We'll just say it that way, right?
Oh, don't apologize for that.
It's true.
No, and I have had some great bosses and some great companies that I've worked for, but I was sick and tired of having creative restrictions when I'm working in marketing full time and I'm told, well, we can do this, we can do that, we can't do this, we shouldn't be doing that by people who don't work in marketing, right? And so to get that creative flow, I had to have ultimate control.
Right.
So that's where the seed was planted. And then I just started helping people a little bit on the side and things started to progress. And I'm like, okay, like this needs to be what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm happy. I love this. And that's kind of where things trickled and started to snowball.
Right. It sounds like you found your flow.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is in alignment with what I want.
But I had some amazing bosses that literally that conversation was, I think I'm going to give notice. And they're like, you can't go anywhere. And I'm like, guys, I think I need to give notice. Yeah,
because they didn't want to lose you.
Yeah. Well, and at that point, like things were so fantastic. I didn't have a bad reason to leave, but it was like the opportunity of me to be able to, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll be able to go to my kid's performance at 3:00 in the afternoon. Oh, I won't need vacation time. I won't need these things. Now, being a small business owner, everybody's laughing out loud right now because, right, it gets worse before it gets better.
End up working more in the beginning.
For now. But again, self-discipline will come with workflow.
Yes.
Well,
and you create systems.
Yeah. I've always said too, those bosses that taught you so much and were sad for you to leave, that's when you know you've been a good employee, is that if you left and then you went back to them and said, hey, I didn't love being a small business owner. Can I have a job in your business again? And they'll take you back with arms wide open.
Right.
You know you did the right thing.
Right.
And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. I'm so happy for you that it's being successful. And
well,
I
we
hope
sure
it just
hope
keeps
so.
growing. Yeah.
It's going to. It's going to.
It has been. I think that growth is important. But like, I'm not a person to put on the brakes. So that could be a downfall or that could be a good thing. But like, we're putting on the gas. I think what we're doing right now is something that the local economy doesn't have. The little guy doesn't have the opportunity to know how to make their business successful. And these people are spinning their tires. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, I would say that's not their niche. And so they need help. There's definite need for that. My call out to people is make sure you have a budget for it.
Yes.
Because that's the number one thing I see the most is that they plan this business and they have these ideas, but they don't have a marketing budget. And that's one of the biggest errors they could make.
Yeah. And I think we're in this new day and age where social media is so important and it scares anyone over the age of 25, right? It's this scary, scary thing because we didn't grow up with it. So that's kind of something fun because I'm 35 years old. I'm almost 36. I think I lose track. But the nice thing is the people who are in the shoes of owning businesses, the majority that need help are my age. And they're like, what the heck is Instagram? So we can help with that.
I'm shocked by that because I feel like I know it, but I guess I've been in marketing for a while.
Well, it's because that's the way your brain works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you'd be really surprised.
In 2011, when I launched my business, Facebook had been around for 2 or 3 years, something like that. So I used it because I learned as I used it.
100%.
And thankfully I had little kids that could help me.
Right.
Too. I mean, teens
and
are
that's
great.
Probably why you were able to kind of identify with it a little bit more, right?
Mm-hmm. Because I had teens at the time that were very into it.
Yeah.
Now they're not. They don't. They
don't
only really like to scroll on TikTok and like Reels. They don't like Facebooking.
But are they booking pest control or buying honey from brownies?
No. No.
So that's the hard part too. Is if you don't know who your audience is, a lot of times it's like, oh, I'm on social media. People can see me. Who's your audience? Who's going to spend the money with your business, right?
Right.
I would also warn people that in the industry we're in, the algorithms are changing daily.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Daily. And so you think you have I know how this works. I promise in 3 weeks, it's going to be different.
It's the truth. It is the
and
truth.
so you need somebody who's doing it all the time to keep you fresh on how they have changed things, how they're swapping things out. What is geofencing? Like all of it needs to be in there so that you're actually, the money you spend marketing actually goes somewhere.
Is actually doing what it needs to. Do you have a techie person, like one of those gurus behind the scenes?
There is. The biggest thing is like finding consistency, right? And you can be the smartest person and think that you understand everything with social media or posting and doing things, but if your profile isn't set up right,
doesn't matter. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. And that's the biggest thing is, again, getting down to those roots of making sure, do you have a Google My Business page? If you don't, you're not a legitimate business on the internet. Facebook talks to Google My Business. So does Instagram. So does TikTok. So again, getting those roots built and getting a little bit more of SEO search words and keywords and all the nerd stuff, right? All of the things to make sure that that's set up. And that's what our onboarding team does. So Abby's our onboarder. She's fantastic at going through and she scrubs every single client account on every single platform to make sure you're getting maximized. So it's a lot of bang for your buck.
Right. And a lot has changed in the last few years on
100%.
The business side. They've added more layers.
100%. And, a lot of people have personal profiles and they're like, I'm posting my business. And I'm like, do you have a business page? Oh, I don't need one of those. Oh, dearie. Yeah,
I have one, but
you got to. You got to drive that traffic.
It's my own problem. It's like, I don't want to post anymore. I force myself to post. It gets a little
so that's why you do a content shoot once a month or once a quarter with us, and we just handle it, right?
Okay, so say we were going to do that.
That
say
would
I
be
was
the
going to
easy
hire it. What does it cost to be a client?
So it really depends on how many posts a week we're going to be doing for you and what you need. So initially, we do a one-time onboarding fee, and we're going to go through. And again, like I said, we're going to make sure everything's going to succeed before we start posting. If you want to do social media, a lot of people are like, and then we go through and we do a custom content shoot, photography, everything right up front so that everything's fresh. Because I can't prepare content for you unless I have the content to prepare. Right?
Correct.
So we make sure that everything's really good, high caliber, branded, and really well. We throw it into the editing pool. So if you're doing our most popular package is the Social Spark package. It's $800 a month. We handle everything. It's so affordable, you guys. And there's a reason, because we're working with small business, right? So you get so think of your marketing team. You get a brand manager, you get an editor, you get a content specialist, you have someone writing your captions and all your hashtags and researching all of the fun things. And some of this goes over business owners' heads because they're like, I don't want to deal with it.
Well, they're worrying about other things.
Yeah. Well, you should be. You should be selling your business, not be posting on TikTok every day.
Well,
right?
Here's the deal. My husband is an electrical contractor.
Nice.
He also has jellyfish lighting as the side.
Yes.
So important to have it out there in the social media around the jellyfish,
100%.
especially, right? He doesn't want to be good at that.
I know.
Do you know what he wants to do? He wants to do kick-a electrical work and seamless
and
lighting.
ride his Harley.
Yep. And ride it, yeah.
That's what he should be doing, right? Because that's why I exist.
Yeah, he doesn't. So that's why small business owners need to look at that and go, I get to free myself of that. And it'll be a return on your investment.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You can pay someone else to do it, and you can
and
make
you need
more
it.
money.
You need it. You know, social media is always the hardest thing, I think, for people. They are trying to like always be like, oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do that retroactively, and trying to drive it. And you can't ever catch up unless it's your full-time job. It is a full-time job.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. Okay, I have a crazy question. Are you ready for this one?
Ready.
Mac or PC? What do you do all the work on?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's funny. If you open up my bag right now, I have one of each.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think that it depends on what you're doing with it, right? I love to edit on my Mac. I absolutely despise it on a PC. So,
yeah. You know what's hilarious about this is for my other podcast, on my desk at home, PC, Mac. I do a majority of the work on the Mac. The PC is sitting here for the stuff that I want to do that I don't like the way the Mac does it.
Yeah, it's so true. It's a good combination. That's actually every single person on my crew is the same thing. We have both.
Well, and as a business owner, I think you have to play with both because you are going
to know both.
You are going to have clients that just are like, no, I've got my Galaxy here. Like, I hate Apple. And you're like, well, okay.
Well, then we can't group text message.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah. Oh, we all have that friend that doesn't have the Apple.
My sister, I'm calling you out right now,
Our
Timmery.
pictures get all jacked. And you're like, sorry, we're going to have to
You just
message you
ruined it.
separately.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Okay, what part of persnickety have we not covered yet? Is there any part that you wanted to talk about?
You know, I think that mostly just kind of knowing and hitting hard that if you feel like you're stuck and you don't know what to do to like take the step, we need to talk. I do business consulting. I do social media classes, all the education courses and things I do. We teach business growth on Facebook. It right now is the fastest way to grow your audience is on Facebook because there's a button for that. Instagram, you have to kind of do it manually, right? Or you're buying your traffic through ads. So if you're paying for ads right now and you have not groomed your accounts and have the foundation under you, you need to call me. You absolutely need to call me.
Get a consult.
Yeah. Because if you're paying for ads and you don't have your links and everything backlinked and SEO certified, you don't have all of your captions and your bios matching and your handles and everything consistent, those ads are going to fail. And we need ads, right? Ads are super important. So getting that foundation underneath you, I'm not going to tell you, hey, you don't need to be doing ads, but you do need to be posting consistently to pair with ads or you're doing yourself a disservice. So you do need both in your marketing budget. Absolutely.
Awesome. So how do they find you?
Yeah. So best way to find me is call me. I'm a busy lady. We run around 100 million miles an hour. So phone number is 208-681-3654. And you can also, I would say, check out my Facebook page.
Yeah,
but guys, you might be
embarrassed.
You might be embarrassed. Right now, we're just transitioning everything over. I've been operating out of my personal Instagram and Facebook accounts, and I haven't even had time to move my social media. So this will be the first month that we're actually going, hey, we're ready for business because we've been so busy on word of mouth.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
it's a coming.
Good problem to have.
I know.
Good for you. Good for you. All right. We ask every person who comes and joins us here on the We Share podcast to share. That's the point of the podcast. So we ask you to leave something with us at the end of the podcast. It can be life advice. It can be business advice. It can be a funny story, whatever you want to share with our listeners.
Wonderful. So I guess advice is kind of the mode that I'm in right now. Small business owners, everyone out there that owns a small business, you are going to have Mondays. Like today has been a Monday, right? Like my biggest advice to you would be get the right people, commit to them, have them commit to you, and don't try to do it yourself, right? Delegation is my biggest advice for anybody listening is find your people, find your person, find your culture, and then put on the gas.
I love it.
It's a great
advice.
Yeah, great business philosophy. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Melissa, and
throw that phone number out one more time.
Yeah, it's 208-681-3654. All
right.
Hey, let's help her increase her speed.
More gas. More word of mouth.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll have an office front opening up soon. So you just walk right in. Come see me.
Thanks for joining us today on the We Share podcast.
If you've loved what you've heard, please give us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends and share this show.
You can also follow us for recipes, lifestyle and fashion tips, book reviews, and more on WeSharePodcast.com.
Join our Share Squad and sign up for our newsletter there.
We would love to connect with you.
We share on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a follow.
A big goodbye squeeze and sending you all our love from Alex and Julie.
Join us next week on the We Share podcast.